just had to take a break. Take a break and just step back for a little bit. But I definitely want to continue with the Ayurvedic parts that we are going through. I've already talked about your 3 doshas and how you can find out what your dosha is based off the test that I provided on my website. So now I want to talk about the best fruits, veggies, grains, maybe dairy products, oils, and more for each dosha. Let me check on my kids right quick, because once again they stopping their mommy. So now let's do a recap of the 3 doshas, right? So now Vata is air and ether, which is in the small intestines, your colon, your belly button, your heart and head. Vata is in charge of movement in your body. So this includes your heartbeat, your gastrointestinal tract, your lungs, and your diaphragm. Those are parts of your body that does the movement. So Pitta and Vata is, the more slim side, the more petite people. We have Pitta, which is fire and water. It is located in your stomach, your blood, your liver, your gallbladder, and your spleen. Pitta is in charge of transformation in your body, and this includes digestion, metabolism, and nutrient absorption. Pittas are like the muscular type, the ones who have the toned body, the toned muscles. So Kapha is earth and water. It is located in your lungs, stomach, pancreas, your plasma, lymph system, joints, sinuses, nose, and your tongue. And the Kapha is more on kind of like the bigger side, like you're what they would call the more heavier people. And just because that a person is heavy on the heavy side, this doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be unhealthy. Everybody's body is different. That's why I don't understand why everyone was advised to take a vaccination when everybody's body is different. Everybody's not going to take one vaccine that's being exploded all over the world. I mean, that's another topic. So now we're going to talk about the different doshas, the best fruits and veggies and grains and oils for each of your dosha. So, and which foods that you should avoid based on your dosha. So we're going to get started and we're going to be doing that. I had to just take a break for a little minute and just recuperate. But there's some other things that I want to bring in about different medicines, different cultures, and what healing modalities that they use. Because everybody, like I said, once again, everybody is different. Everyone goes about healing differently. Everyone has different parts of themselves that needs healing. So that's what we're going to be doing on this podcast. And we're not just going to talk about health. We're going to talk about spirituality, life, and other things. But I definitely want to focus on health too. So I'm going to do each individually. So I'm going to do Vata first, then Pitta, then Kapha. So Vatas are naturally cold. They're dry, mobile, and rough in energy. So they need foods that have opposite qualities. Vata needs more warm, moist, dense, and oily foods. Go for fruits that are sweet and avoid dry fruits for Vata are apples, avocados, ripe bananas, melons, berries, coconut, grapefruit, kiwi, lemons, limes, mangoes, oranges, papayas, pineapple, and peaches. Now, if you notice, a lot of these that I named are kind of like sweet. And for Vata, which I am a Vata, I don't like cold foods at all. Like, I don't like cold cut sandwiches just because I'm cold. Not cold, you know what I mean, but I'm naturally cold. So those do not agree with my body type, my body system type. So now avoid foods like raw apples, green bananas, and dry fruit. So since you're already naturally dry, naturally cold, you're going to avoid the foods that are the same as your dosha, the qualities of your dosha. So vegetables, cooked vegetables are easier to digest. Avoid raw veggies until your digestion fire is strong enough to be able to assimilate those hard vegetables. So veggies are great for grounding. Root veggies are great for grounding, like asparagus. I love asparagus. I just learned how to cook asparagus. Cooked carrots, cilantro, cucumbers, garlic, green beans, and okra. Really haven't been much into okra like that, but I definitely do like asparagus, garlic. I put that in a lot of my dinners, a lot of my foods. Onions, I put everything in my food. All onions, I add a lot to my food. Onions help to keep down the colds and the flus and stuff like that. So this will be a good time now that it's reaching fall. We're reaching the winter months. It's good. Like an onion soup is good, like for the winter months. Like soup is good, great for the winter months, so that it can keep your body warm. Remember, when you're warm, heat is life. Heat equals life. You know, when you touch somebody's body, they're warm. And then when you touch somebody's body, it's cold. That's the absence of life when your body is cold. And so we have cooked peas, pumpkin, cooked spinach, and sweet potatoes. So spinach is good. It depends on who cook it. I had a friend who introduced me to spinach, and it was all by the way that she had cooked it. Before, I didn't really like it just because I guess it wasn't cooked. And I also like spinach. I put spinaches whenever I do, which is rarely that I have a cold cut sandwich. I'll put spinach instead of lettuce. You know, lettuce don't have that much as nutrients, and we're going to talk about that later. So grains are easier to digest. They are grounding, and they provide energy for your body, and they balance your hormones, like basmati rice, brown rice, cooked oats, quinoa, and raw rice. Soak your grains for optimal digestion, just so it'll be easier to digest. Legumes are great for protein. Some legumes make batters feel bloated or gassy. Make sure that they are cooked and they contain spices, particularly calming for easy assimilation. Soak your beans and avoid canned beans. Tofu served hot, and mung dal. I hope that I said that right. Okay, Aaliyah, I'm recording, okay? So then we have, language arts. So then there is dairy. Not diary. And I spelled it just like this. Not diary, but dairy. Dairy is not what it used to be. It is no longer raw or organic anymore. A lot of dairy has hormones and other additives, and it is pasteurized. So there are alternates such as flax, hemp, coconut, almond, rice, and pea. I definitely don't feel like dairy is for black people. Like, honestly, I don't care. I said it. Dairy is not for everybody. Okay? It's not. I'm just going to tell you the alternates. Okay? This is what I use to replace dairy. I know as a kid, I used to love milk. Like, I used to literally drink a whole glass of milk. But I also, as a kid, used to think about, why are we drinking cow's milk? That's a completely different species, and we are human beings. So I always had the question as a kid, why are we drinking, cow's milk? So I quickly got off of that bandwagon, and me and my children, we drink almond milk now, which is from the almond bean. It's so much, oh my God, so much better. Dairy vada is ghee, clarified butter, goat's milk, cheese, yogurt, kefir, unsweetened yogurt. Avoid frozen yogurt, ice cream, powdered milk, non-organic products. So if you are going to consume dairy, I would suggest the organic dairy. And I'll suggest almond milk, flax, hemp, coconut milk. Like, all that stuff is good. It's way better than dairy, and it's way better than drinking another species freaking milk. That's like putting a dog up to your titty and having the dog, like, come on, the damn dog is not human. We are not giving damn dogs breast milk, okay? So let's go on to the nuts. I love nuts, but nuts make great snacks, but when eaten too much can become heavy or your digestive fire. So choose raw and unsalted nuts. Almonds are the best for battles for digestion. I love freaking almonds. They didn't say anything in here about pecans, but I remember when I was a kid, I used to just pick up pecans off the ground and just literally eat them. I noticed that a lot of these, a lot of like fruit trees and stuff like that, you don't really see anymore unless you grow it yourself. And I just suggest for everyone to start their own garden. I don't care where you stay at this point. You could grow a garden anywhere. So, how I started first is getting the fruits and veggies and make sure you getting fruits and veggies that have seeds. Make sure they have seeds. I don't know what's going on with these seedless things, but make sure they have seeds. So, what was I about to say? Oh, so I just started taking the seeds from my fruits and my veggies from my refrigerator and just started planting them that way, just to, familiarize, the word. I can't really say it. So nuts are great. Incorporate any raw nut and seeds. Avoid roasted and salted nuts. Okay, so that is going to be for... So I forgot to mention the animal products. So a lot of Vatas do the best with animal products compared to other doshas because they are often in need of strength. However, Ayurvedic doesn't recommend meat into your diet. They mostly recommend a vegetarian diet. But if you are extremely weak or vigorously active, then that's when you're going to incorporate animal products in your diet just for the strength. Vatas should favor meats that are moist, sweet, and easy to digest, and not those that are overly heavy or dry like red meat. So your eggs and your chicken should always be organic. Your fish should always be wild caught, and the meat should be grass fed to ensure that you obtain the greatest amount of nutrients. We all know how meat is slaughtered, and we all know that a lot of people still consume meat. Now, I took red meat out of my diet. I don't really like beef like that or hamburger meat like that. But I definitely still do eat chicken, and I love fish. So those are like the two animal products that I have in my diet, and they are for strength because I am on a smaller size. So it does help me with strength, but I'm not saying I'm going to always eat meat. But for right now, those are like the animal products that I consume. We all know how, like I said, how the animals are slaughtered, and we know that when these animals are slaughtered, they still carry with them energy, and the energy still carries with them in the food that we eat. So just be conscious of that, when we are eating meats. I would suggest it to just, pray over it so that you won't intake any of that type of energy that those animals have to go through before they are literally slaughtered and put up on the whatever they call it. So let's go to oils. Oils are very pacifying for Vatas because they offset their dry, rough bodies. Vatas require a lot of lubrication in their diets because to promote regularity and hydration. So Vatas should favor warming oils and avoid those that are too light or dry or processed. So the type of oils that Vatas should favor is almond oil, extra virgin pure olive oil, extra virgin raw coconut oil, mustard oil, and sesame oil. Now, I use the almond oil and the olive oil on a lot of my foods, and I also use it for like some of my body products that I do when I'm making my body oils. But sesame oil, I have some of that, but I don't like the smell of it. And I'm still learning how things that don't smell attractive, like I'm still learning what foods to put sesame oil in, because all oils don't go in all food, and there are certain oils that go with certain different food, just for the flavor, just for the taste and the things like that. And so for right now, it doesn't smell as appealing, but I do know that it goes in certain foods that I would that I may like it in. So I'm still learning about that, and about how some things, it may smell not as good, but it may be good for you. So oils Vatas should avoid is canola oil, corn oil, palm oil, and peanut oil. So sweeteners, I've never been like a sweet sweet eater, even as a kid. I never really ate sweets like that. But Vadas do best with sweetness because people of this dosha are often underweight and need extra calories. If you're trying to manage your weight, it's best to avoid sweeteners and opt for plant-based sources of sugar such as fruit. Fruit carries its own sugar, which is fructose. There's different types of sugars. So today, many natural alternative sweeteners are still available. And these sugars, there are sugars that will help as a form of sugar alternative, and these sugars will not affect your blood sugar levels nor feed bad bacteria in your gut. Like I said, like everything that we put into our gut matters, because our body systems, they all work independently, but they all work together. So when you are putting things into your digestive system, it goes to these different body systems that need certain things, So that's why I always speak about gut health and how gut health is important. And that shit is going to tell what your overall health is based on what you eat. So most people unknowingly consume too much sugar in their diets, resulting in diabetes and other illnesses. And when I tell you, and I already told y'all how to read your nutritional facts, there is a lot of sugar in everything that you wouldn't even think is in, like water. Like in some waters, there is sugar in it. It'd be a small amount, but it's still sugar in it. So sweeteners Vata should favor is birchwood, coconut sugar, dates, date sugar, honey, raw, heated, cooked, or pasteurized. We have maple syrup, use that in moderation. We have monk fruit sweetener, and we have stevia in the liquid or the organic. So sweeteners Vata should avoid is cane juice or syrup and white sugar. Like I said plenty of times before, anything white is bad for us. White sugar, white rice, white flour, it's horrible, and you should not be consuming it. So spices. I never liked white rice anyways. I remember I was a little kid, and this lady was doing my mom's hair, and she had like these white things that was on her floor. But what I didn't know as a kid, so they were they was magnets, but she told me it was rice, or what rice turns into. And ever since I heard that from this lady, I never liked rice, like never ever liked rice. She probably was lying, but yeah, I never liked rice. So spices. Now I don't like spicy food, I don't like it at all, but my daughter loves spices. But spices are especially great to stimulate Vata's weak digestive fires. So this is what I mean by your acne, your digestive fire. So when you have digestive issues, it's because your fire is not burning strong enough. That means you have not been eating food that's promoting your fire to burn really strong, to assimilate the foods in your digestive system. So spices don't necessarily mean spicy. In fact, overly spicy food is actually difficult for Vatas to digest because it's overstimulating and it causes loose stools. So foods with warming spices like ginger, cumin, and mustard seeds without making it overly hot. So Vatas should reduce spices that are overly drying or harsh, like those listed that I'm about to tell you, in moderation. So and then make sure that your spices or any of your food is pure, organic, and high quality. You want to always make sure you're eating high quality food. There is Whole Foods, there is Sprouts, there is Fresh Fair Farms too. I'm not sure if that's in other places, but that's what we have here. That's kind of like the places I shop at. I try to. I also do the Walmart. I don't really like Walmart. I don't like going in there. But they may have some organic things that you can grab in there also. So we have spices Vatas should favor is anise, basil, bay leaf, black pepper, cardamom, cinnamon, cloves, coriander, the seeds or the powder. We have cumin, seeds or the powder. We have fennel, ginger, fresh or powder. We have mustard seeds, nutmeg, paprika, rosemary, saffron, and turmeric. So spices Vata should use in moderation is cayenne, chili powder, fenugreek, horseradish, and neem. So that's going to do it for the Vata types of foods that you should be digesting. I hope that you all took notes, and I hope that you guys, I know it's not going to take I know that for some people it's not gonna, happen the next day or the next week when you try to eat healthy, just because if we have been eating kind of unhealthy, it's going to take a while to kind of get into the balance of doing that. Like I said, what I did, this whole thing had erased, so I had to do it over again, but I'm not sure if it caught that part. But what I said was that I just took the fruits and veggies from in my refrigerator, and I started off with that, and I started planting those and starting my garden. And then as time went on, I started to go into different foods that was new and different to me. So I hope you guys take care of yourself. Until next time, batters. Peace. So greetings. We're going to be talking about the pita types, the pita that are best for the foods that are best for pitas. So like I said before, pitas are naturally hot. They're oily, sharp, and pungent in energy. So they need foods that are the opposite of these. So that means foods that are cool, juicy, sweet, and dry. So these cleaning ingredients from these foods counterbalance their natural pita characteristics, such as oily skin, heartburn, hyperacidity, impatience, overheating, and ulcers, among other things. Now, pitas, the type of fruit, we're going to start with the fruit. Pitas also can cool their heads with an appropriate diet. Pitas can cool their minds and bodies to gain balance and inner peace. Like I said before, pitas, they have a hard time knowing their limits. They go over their limits sometimes, which causes them to have adrenaline fatigue. And their mental health suffers from this. So it'll be best to be able to eat foods that's going to help with the overheating and the impatience, and just bringing their whole system back into balance. So we're going to discuss the fruits first. So pitas should favor fruits that are juicy, sweet, and astringent. They should avoid the fruits that are sour, acidic, and those are fruits like sour grapes and grapefruits. So go for organic whenever possible, especially those fruits whose skin that you also eat, like apples and berries. So for optimal digestion for pitas, consume fruits by themselves and 30 minutes before meals. So this is I've been learning other things about the different tastes that wakes up our digestive systems, and bitters, like anything that's bitter, that's what wake up that bitter taste. That's what wakes up your digestive system. Your gastrointestinal system is letting your body knows, we're finna eat. Get ready to digest the food that we're getting ready to eat. It's like an opening for you to begin eating. So fruits, pitas can enjoy, which is like sweet apples, sweet apricots, avocados, sweet bananas, sweet berries, coconuts, red, purple, or black grapes, mangoes that are ripe, melons, sweet oranges, papayas, pears, sweet pineapples, sweet plums, and strawberries. And you notice that a lot of them have sweet just because of the pitas and their need to counterbalance their sharp and pungent energy. So fruits that the pitas should avoid is sour fruits like grapefruit and lemon. So vegetables, pitas need to focus on sweet, bitter, and or astringent vegetables. Ayurvedic mostly recommends cooked vegetables, but pitas, they do best with raw vegetables because their digestive systems are so strong. Even like I said before, the pita's body type is like that strong muscular tone, built body type. So they already have strong digestive systems. If you do eat raw foods, such as salads, it's best to have them for lunch when your digestive fire is at its peak, which is lunchtime is when your digestive fire is at its peak. So that's for anybody, Kappa, Pita, or Vata. That's when you eat the foods that are high and rich in nutrients. Since that's when your fire is burning, you're strong during that time. We know that lunchtime is like 12, 1 o'clock, 11, 1 o'clock. received a phone call in the middle of recording. So let's get back to what I was saying. So, when your digestive fire is high in the afternoon like that, that's when you kind of eat your biggest meal, and the biggest meal that's good in nutrients, like a high quality meal. So, Peters need to avoid vegetables that are particularly pungent, heating, spicy, or sharp, such as garlic, chilies, and onions. They also should steer clear of nightshades, including tomatoes, eggplants, and peppers. So there are different suggestions to include and avoid. So go with what works for your PETA body. So vegetables that PETA should favor is artichoke, asparagus, cooked beets, bell peppers, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cooked carrots, cauliflower, celery, cucumbers, leafy greens, raw spinach, not spicy sprouts, all types of squash, sweet potatoes, and zucchini. So now the vegetables that Peters should avoid or reduce is the eggplants, garlic, green chills, raw leeks. Okay, Aaliyah, I'll be done in a minute. Mustard greens, raw onions, hot peppers, raw radish, tomatoes, and turnips. And so you notice that PETA has more of a longer list of veggies to eat. So we're going to look at the grains. All this movement. So let's look at grains. Grains should be a staple in the PETA diet and be consumed in their most natural form. PETAs do well with grains because they provide the fuel that they need for their active bodies and have a sweet, nourishing taste that's easy to digest. So you should favor the grains that are cooling, drying, and grounding in nature. PETAs often need a lot of grounding because they're always so up and higher in energy. They need foods in their diet that's going to ground them, So avoid eating grains and yeasted breads. And that's breads that rise. So grains for PETAs is the barley, oats, quinoa, rice, wild rice, basmati rice, and wheat. So grains that PETAs should avoid is buckwheat, corn, miller, polenta, rye, and yeasted breads. They have a beer called Miller. I wonder if it's the same, but anyways, legumes. They are wonderful for PETAs because they satisfy their need for protein in plant-based ways that are naturally astringent, cooling warm PETA bodies. So PETAs should stay away from canned, salted, heating, or fried legumes, which can cause toxic accumulation. The type of legumes that PETA should choose is the black beans, chickpeas, lentils, split peas, and tofu. The legumes PETAs should minimize in any canned beans, soy meat alternatives, and soy sauce. So dairy. So dairy products were recommended in Ayurvedic, but nowadays we have many alternatives. So like I said, I don't suggest dairy, but the alternatives of dairy, which is almond milk, coconut milk, hemp, because PETAs who are particularly sensitive to toxins in dairy products, such as RGBH. Okay, so if you choose to consume dairy, opt for raw dairy products, and those contain the enzymes that make up dairy easier to digest. So PETA should favor soft cheeses rather than hard or aged cheeses and avoid sour dairy products like sour cream and buttermilk. The dairy products that PETAs should favor is, if you are going to eat yogurt, make sure it's organic yogurt, unsweetened, or homemade. I'm pretty sure there are different ingredients on how to make your own homemade yogurt. I suggest, if you know how to make anything homemade, to make it, because we can go to the stores all we want to, but we aren't in there when they are making these things, when they are putting these foods in these we're just not there to see what's going on with these different types of foods. And so there is unsalted butter, there's ghee, there's goat milk, and the pita should avoid salted butter, buttermilk, hard cheeses, frozen yogurt, sour cream, and store-bought yogurt with fruit. Nuts and seeds. Nuts are oily and they cause an imbalance in pitas, and they can cause pitas to have acne. But seeds are lighter and more favorable. So pitas should choose nuts and seeds that are more cooling in nature and always opt for raw, unsalted versions. So for optimal digestion, you can soak your almonds overnight and remove the skin before you eat them. So nuts and seeds that pitas should incorporate is almonds, soaked and peeled, chia seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and any nut. And the nuts and seeds that pitas should reduce is any nut besides soaked almonds. Now let's go to our animal products. So pitas do best on a vegetarian diet because they are most sensitive to toxins, and already they are hot in nature. So animal products are extremely heating and often contain hormones, antibiotics, and other toxins which can disrupt a pita's digestive system. So keep in mind that animal products aggravate pitas and ideally should be kept to a minimum, because pitas already have that muscular strength, so they don't really need the animal protein. You can get your protein from the legumes without it being so heated. So animal products pitas should favor is white turkey meat and chicken, freshwater or salmon, fish, and eggs. They claim whites only. Animal products pitas should avoid is the beef, the dark meat of chicken and turkey, the yolk from the egg, lamb, pork, and shellfish. So the oils that are great for pitas are, they should not use accent oil in their diet. However, moderate amounts of oils are advisable because they do lubricate the body. Pitas should opt for oils that are lighter in quality and avoid processed oils, which are higher in toxins. So pitas should favor extra virgin raw coconut oil, extra virgin raw olive oil, flaxseed oil, and ghee. Oil pitas should avoid is canola oil, once again, corn oil, peanut oil, soy oil, and sunflower oil. I feel like everybody should avoid canola oil and corn oil and peanut oil. As far as the sweeteners are fine in moderation because the sweet helps the balance the pitas. Excess, however, is heating. Aaliyah, I'm recording. However, is heating and aggravating to pitas. Go for sweeteners that have no impact on your blood sugar levels, such as monk fruit sweetener, stevia, and birchwood, which are less heating for the system. Most people already have too much sugar in their diets, like I said. So pitas should favor the coconut sugar, dates and date sugar, raw honey, maple syrup, monk fruit sweetener, and stevia. Sweeteners that pitas should avoid is brown sugar, cane sugar, syrup, honey, molasses, and of course white sugar. Spices. Pitas love spicy foods because they stimulate their internal fire. However, it does throw them off balance. Pitas can incorporate many spices in their meals as long as they aren't overly spicy. So pitas can still consume heating spices such as cumin, turmeric, and saffron as long as they are not like super hot like chili powder or cayenne. So the best spices for pitas is fresh basil, small amounts of black pepper, cardamom, cinnamon, coriander, cumin, dill, fennel, fresh ginger, mint, parsley, peppermint, turmeric, vanilla, and saffron. So the spices that pitas should avoid or reduce is cloves, garlic, and peppers. So that is going to be all for the pita and your diet. I hope that you all taking care of yourselves and you all wrote notes. See ya, pitas. So now we're going to go for our kappas. So let's recap about the kappas. Kappas are naturally dense, heavy, oily, and sweet in energy. So they need foods that contain the opposite qualities. That means that more light, stimulating, dry, bitter, astringent, and pungent foods. So these foods restore their imbalances such as lethargy, weight gain, swelling, mucus buildup, and sluggish metabolism through a well balanced data. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in my other one. So we're going to start off with fruit for kappas. So kappas should only have fruits that are light and minimum sweet or sour. Kappas tend to gain weight easily, and the excess sugar in fruits can add up. Like I said, the kappas are more of the big-boned, well-rounded individuals. And like I said, also too, just because a person is well-rounded doesn't mean that they're unhealthy. So everybody's parent, the world wants the society wants everyone to look petite. Either you have to be petite and very skinny and tall, or short and thick boned. With the ass and the titties. So everybody's body size and body weight is not like that. Everybody's not meant to look one way. That's boring as hell. Nobody wants to see just skinny people or fat asses everywhere. Like, we need to stop that. So tropical fruits like bananas and mangoes are particularly sweet and heavy, and which adds to kappas imbalances. They should choose astringent fruits and only have one serving a day. Once again, go for organic, any type of fruit or vegetable or even meat that you are consuming. Try to go for organic. And for optimum digestion, consume the fruits by themselves and 30 minutes before meals. And the type of fruit you should or could be consuming is bitters. I'm going to go over the different tastes too. What we're going to be learning about next, I'll go over that, which I already said it in my past doshas that I was talking about. So fruits that kappas should enjoy are apples, fresh apricots, all types of berries, cherries, cranberries, lemons, limes, pears, and pomeggranates. So the fruits that kappas should avoid are avocados, bananas, coconut meat, dates, and mangoes. So vegetables. Vegetables should be the center of a kappa's diet because they are very cleansing for their diet, for their body type. So those that are bitter, pungent, or astringent are the best for helping kappas reduce weight and uplift their bodies. So avoid the vegetables that are heavy and dense and oily or watery, such as heavy stews, mashed potatoes, and oily stir fries. These are the things that are heavy and that's going to keep your energy heavy. So kappas have weak digestive systems, so it's best for them to lightly cook their vegetables, such as steaming them or roasting them to make it easier for you to be able to digest. So avoid using excess oil and try water sauteing vegetables. It's best for kappas to avoid raw foods, but if you choose to consume them, they're best at lunch when your digestive fires. You see how I keep going, how there's a time for people to eat for your digestive fire to be as strong as it can be. So vegetables kappas should favor is asparagus, beets, bell peppers, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, carrots, cauliflower, celery, leafy greens, peas, peppers, sweet and hot, radishes, spinach, sprouts, and turnips. So the vegetables that kappas should reduce is olives, potatoes, pumpkins, and squash. Potatoes are very, very heavy. They are very, very heavy on your digestive system. And I don't think potatoes have a lot of nutrients either. So grains, kappas should be mindful of their portions of grains because they're sweet and building, and they can cause weight gain. So just make sure that your grains are light and dry in energy. Stay away from breads, pastas, and pastries. These are foods that are also heavy and things like that. Grains kappas should go for is barley, buckwheat, millets, and quinoa. So the grains Kappas should avoid is pasta, wheat, white or brown rice, and yeasted breads. So ligamines are great for Kappas because they are astringent in taste and they counterbalance their natural sweetness. They should be sure that their beans are well spiced, especially with cumin, to make them easier to digest. So the type of legumes that the Kappas should choose are black beans, lentils, tofu served hot, chickpeas, split peas, and mung beans. So legumes Kappa should avoid is kidney beans, soybeans, soy cheese, soy sauce, and tofu when it is served cold. So dairy Kappas are naturally attracted to cheese and ice cream, but it's the worst thing for them. Kappa types should avoid dairy products because they're heavy and cooling, just like Kappa energy. Like increases like, and Kappas need to stay away from anything that makes them more heavy, dense, and cold. That's the point of eating foods that's going to counterbalance you already feeling heavy. So some Kappas can digest goat milk products without a problem because they contain less lactose and are lighter in energy. However, the non-dairy milk is still the best option. I recommend unsweetened coconut, almond, or pea milk. PEA, not PEE. But we know. But nuts and seeds. So nuts are already heavy, they're dense, and they're oily. And this causes an imbalance for Kappas because that's already their energy. So the only nuts Kappas can have are soaked and peeled almonds, and even those should be consumed in moderation. Seeds are always a better, lighter option for Kappa types. Seeds are mostly light. They're very, very light. When you're eating like sunflower seeds, they're very light compared to like nuts. Heavies are dense and they're very, very heavy. So nuts and seeds Kappa should choose are once again soaked and peeled almonds, chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, and sunflower seeds. I just said sunflower seeds. So nuts and seeds Kappa should reduce or avoid is excess nuts and nut butters. So animal products. Now, like I said, everyone is different. Some people prefer not to have animal products to get their protein, while others still consume meat in order to, gain some type of protein or just to get back their strength unless they're weak and unless you work out. So Kappa should not incorporate too many animal products in their diet because these foods are particularly heavy. They are increasing the Kappa. They're increasing the heaviness of a Kappa. So when you have excess protein, it causes the Kappas to gain fat because they don't require as much protein as the other doshas. It is totally possible for Kappas to get all the protein they need from a plant-based diet, and this is recommended actually. So like I said, Ayurvedic don't really recommends, eating animal products. It mostly recommends eating a vegetarian diet unless, like I said, I've already said it many times, you work out or you have a very weak digestive system. So the animal, Kappa should select those that are light and dry. Eat animal products only in small amounts and infrequent. So do you know that if you are eating meat, it takes meat a while to digest. It takes it a while. So the reason why people have backed up digesting is because when you do eat meat, you have to wait until that meat is completely digested. Or you have to literally wait until you have had a bowel movement and then you eat meat again. That can be for a couple of days. But just imagine somebody consuming meat every single day and how backed up their systems are. So that's one thing that I learned about eating meat and about how to go about eating meat. So animal products Kappas should favor is chicken or turkey, white meat, eggs, pasture raised, and freshwater fish. So animal products Kappa should avoid is buffalo meat, chicken, dark meat chicken, beef, pork, and lamb. Pork is bad for everyone. Even when pork is not cooked correctly, it can cause different diseases. Oils. Kappas are already oily and heavy in nature, so they don't need as much oil, although a little bit should be incorporated into their diet. So choose light, unprocessed oils. Water salting also good for Kappas because you're already heavy and you're already dealing with you're already oily. So the oily is going to make you even heavier. And so water is very light, okay? So that's why water sauteing is best for people with Kappa's energy. So oils Kappas should favor is almond oil, extra virgin olive oil, very small amounts, flax seeds oil, and ghee. So oils Kappas should avoid is canola oil, safflower oil, and soy oil. Sweeteners, Kappa should steer clear of sweets because they make them heavier and dense. And Ayurvedic only recommends for Kappas to eat raw honey in small amounts. So, like I said, we have different sweeteners today. We have sweetener alternatives, which can be incorporated in Kappa diet to satisfy a sweet tooth without having to worry about weight gain. So, sweeteners that Kappa should favor is raw honey. Excuse me. So you have monk fruit sweetener, and you have stevia in the liquid or the organic form. So sweeteners that Kappa should avoid is the artificial sweeteners. Just avoid anything artificial, okay? Artificial means it ain't real. So we should want to avoid anything that says artificial flavoring, artificial sweeteners, naturally. Like I saw something that said naturally artificial. How the hell are you naturally? Are you going to be one or the other? Either you're natural or you're artificial, you're fake. It's one or the other. You cannot be both. Why do people think that we're stupid, dumb, and blind? We are not, okay? We are not that. So, barley malt, date sugar, fructose, honey, cooked, heated, or processed maple syrup, and once again, their white sugar. Now, different spices are especially medicinal for Kappas because they stimulate and that digestive system, and it speeds up your metabolism, to be able to digest your food properly. So all spices are great for Kappas with the exception of excess salt like ginger, cinnamon, coriander, chili powder, and cayenne are particularly healing. So spices Kappas should favor is anise, basil, bay leaf, black pepper, cardamom, cayenne, cinnamon, cloves, coriander, cumin, coriander, fennel, garlic, ginger, mint, mustard seeds, nutmeg, oregano, paprika, rosemary, turmeric, and saffron. So Kappa should the spices that Kappa should pretty much avoid is excess salt. And so I want also Kappas to look out for sneaky sugars that are hidden in savory foods, such as like dressings and sauces and even ketchup. There's a lot of salt in ketchup. You wouldn't even believe it because it's a lot of salt and sugar. I'm telling you. I read them nutritional facts on the back of your packages, all of them. I don't care if it's a spice or a condiment, a meat, like it doesn't matter. Just read the back of all your nutritional labels. I would suggest try making your own foods from scratch to avoid sneaky sugars or sneaky sugar sources or anything sneaky additives that's been added to your food. What I have also been doing to kind of like develop a new avenues and new things to cook is I bought cookbooks. So I bought these cookbooks. Where are my cookbooks? They probably in the living room, but I'm not even go out there right now because my children are standing right at my door. So the two cookbooks, like tonight I'm gonna go into the cookbook and find something different to go and get the ingredients for and just cook it. That's how you learn how to cook, high quality foods. That's when you learn about different spices and different ingredients and different herbs and how herbs work. The first way in order for you to know your body is to try things out. Don't try anything now, but but that is, I feel like I learn and people learn by experimenting. you have to go and cook these different things that's good for your body to see, how it works with your body. Instead of me just saying it, I want all of everyone to try to just cook a meal. I'm gonna start giving homework. Even for me, I'm gonna do this homework too. It ain't just for y'all, it's for me too. So the homework is just to find a meal, go online. Pinterest is good for like get different recipes. You can type in Vata Type's recipes, or you can type in Peter Type recipes, you can type in Kappa Type recipes, so that you can learn different recipes that you can use, so that it can keep you up to date about what you need to take from your diet, what you need to add to your diet, what's not working, what is working, things like that. Just to broaden your mind about the different foods that are out there, because there's so many different foods and so many different diets that we can try that can help us with our health, instead of eating damn McDonald's. I hate McDonald's so much, I promise. I just had to throw that in there. The worst of the worst of the worst. But I appreciate you all for listening, especially if you have stayed all the way to the end, because this was a very long podcast today. I'm going to keep active. My podcast is never going anywhere, no matter how much you don't hear from me. My podcast is like kind of like a baby, kind of like my baby. So a lot of my projects are. So I appreciate you all. I hope you all are taking care of yourself, being around those who pour into your cup. And until next time, gods and goddesses, peace.